Yo, what is going on, guys? We got the pre-party here. We got Sam, we got Richie, we got Mizzy. What is going on, my friends?
Not
Not
much,
much.
not too much. But I think all of us are tired.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
Stage
just
I,
fright.
woke up.
I got
I
yeah,
know, I
stage
know,
fright, man.
I know, Crash. You said you've already been through an energy drink today, and you're.
yes, earlier today, and I know Sam, you've been doing some shows the last couple days, and got some shows coming up here as well. So
Ooh.
you sound like you've been partying, but you're not
I'm
legal to
not.
party yet, so you can't be
No.
partying. Okay. Mizzy, how are you doing?
I'm good. I've left my drink over on the other side of the room, and I'm
Okay.
gonna
Oh,
get it.
no.
Yes, well, you can take a break. You can take a break. 50 seconds. Richie,
Immediate break.
Richie,
Oh
what's
no,
going
I
on,
took
man?
my
Oh
headphones.
man, I
Oh
seen
my
the
god.
coolest band last weekend. It's quite unusual. There is a visual kei band here in Toulouse. It's like Japanese glam metal, basically. It's
Really?
like it's
Whoa.
visual kei is like glam metal if Nirvana didn't happen and it was allowed to progress and get
Okay.
bigger and bigger, if you know what I mean. So like it has a modern sound, but the look is still the front and center. It was such a good show, man, and they're on the rise. What are they called again? Jeez, the Red Moths. The Red
The
Moths.
Red Mouse.
So
Okay.
cool.
And you said they're from Japan?
They make Japanese music, but
Oh,
they're
oh, okay. All right.
such a good show, and it was only up the road from me as well. So
Really?
That's
Did
nice.
you did you take any footage of it or any pictures or anything?
I've got
Okay.
some footage, and I'm working on an interview with them. They want their
Ooh.
questions ahead of time, though, so I'm a bit like still thinking.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Very nice. Very nice. So, Mizzy, if you are you ready?
Hi.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm still like I'm just all tangled. I nearly took my headphones with me when I went to the other side of the room, but lucky the cable's really long, so I was about to drag everything along.
Oh
But it's
man.
okay. So I just woke up, so I'm just I was
We
Yeah,
would
hoping
have
for
been
you
on
to
someone's
stream.
fail video. That
yeah.
that, that was my
I don't know if last week we addressed the times that everybody's filming. Me and Crash have normal times, but poor Richie and Mizzy are, as you can tell, not in America. And Mizzy, what time is it for you?
It's 8 o'clock now, which that's not
Oh
that
in the
my
bad. I usually
morning.
I
goodness.
it's
usually
all right.
yeah
Yes,
I
8
usually get
a.m.
up at 6:30. But yeah, no, I was having a dream that I was talking to Billy Idol, and I looked in the mirror and I looked like him, and then I was like in the midnight, not sorry, the midnight, yeah, I was like in the rebel yell, and I was like talking to him, I don't know, and then he's like, "Don't ever do that again," and I was like, "Okay." and then I was like, "I know, I'll ask him if he wants to come in on the interview today and do
Oh.
this with me," but obviously it was a dream
Well,
and
where's
he
he
didn't
at?
do that.
Ah, damn.
I don't know. The tornado may have got him, but
Have you ever read Billy Idol's book?
not recently.
No.
No,
It's a
no.
very it's a very it's a very interesting book, but there's this one bit that always sticks out in my head. He's like, there was no such thing as blowjobs back then, but the skin girls would wank you off. I swear to God, it's a literal quote from the fucking book. It's so
Is it,
strange.
is it like
Good
the
story.
dirt? Is it like the
It
dirt?
it's on par with the Dirt, definitely. A lot
Really?
lot of good
Okay.
stories. And I think it was his talent manager was the same as Kiss's one. The name
Mm.
Yeah.
escapes me, but there was a lot of strange stories about that lad as well. Great
Was
Okay.
book,
that
great book.
that one of? Was there anything in there about this hotel party that went for about 2 weeks straight, and he didn't sleep for any of it, and then that's the whole thing, and the TVs get thrown out of the window. Now I don't know if that's 100% true, but I have heard a couple of times that that is something that did happen.
There's a heap of stories like that in there, but the book opens with a story about orgies in the studio. So I mean, there's that, and then there's the
My
story where
microphone's
he falls
sticky.
off his bike as well, injures
Oh,
Oh,
himself.
the motorcycle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
oh, that's like a bicycle. So.
Yeah.
Billy
Like
Idol on his
on
bicycle.
if Crash, I know you're not on board with Spotify, but Spotify Premium's now offering like all of the books that like I spent years, you get one book a month on Audible, but like all of these rock and roll books are now free to
Oh,
listen
are
to
they?
on
Oh
Spotify.
crap!
So
That
Okay.
gives me
not
another
just the
reason to
music,
want
but
to
the
join
books.
on.
Yeah.
I have also not joined up to Spotify.
I mean, I will say I do use Spotify for like podcast purposes,
Hmm.
like whenever they're not on YouTube or Rumble. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I like I said, I do have Spotify, but obviously, like for the music, like I just don't really get there much for the music. But, uh, So I guess we can go into our first topic of today, and that is going to be we're going to shift it to Sam here, and because
Hi.
obviously, obviously most people that love Rat and Stephen Piercy and follow them know that they had a little bit of a reunion with the original guitarist with Warren DeMartini for some shows last weekend, and Sam is the drum tech for Stephen Piercy. So he has some behind the scenes, or like how
Wow.
did all that go last weekend, Sam?
Very good. I was nervous, like not for anything in particular, but I was just nervous. There's so many things that could go wrong for such a big show, but everything went great. Everybody was super happy with it. Everybody was super excited about it before it even started, and
Mm-hmm.
it went off really as good as it could. And I'm very excited. I mean, there's more lined up. We're booking more now. We wanted to get through the first show and just make sure that went good, but that went great. So now we're open to booking more. I'm looking in the future, so it looks like this thing's going to keep on rolling, which is exciting.
Very
Are they
nice.
going to come to Australia?
I don't
Come to
know.
Australia.
Hopefully, I'd love to,
drop a hint,
but
just to be like, oh, hey,
Yeah,
but
Australia wants some
that'd be
rat.
pretty cool.
but yeah, it's. I mean, Warren still. It sounds like Warren. It's crazy. I wasn't sure because he hasn't played in like 8 years, but man, I was at sound check and he was playing, I think it was like You're in Love or something. He was just like riffing on the solo and it caught me off guard. I was like, wow, that sounds like the record. Like
Really?
he's got the tone, it's everything. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's just badass. So, like, how was the stage show as far as like was Piercy and Warren still sounding good? Like they didn't miss a step.
Yeah, and they were very in tune with each other too. They were able to cue off each other. They were still like playing off each other the entire show. It was like 2017 was the last time they played together. And yeah, they're still over there, same stage moves or whatever they did. None of them forgot it. I don't know if they went over it in rehearsals or what, or if it was just up there. But yeah, they clicked instantly. Like the chemistry's still there,
That's
which is.
badass. So it was there a deep cut that they threw out, or something that you weren't expecting that they threw in the set list?
We had Walking the Dog on second, which was
Ooh,
really cool. Yeah, so
wow,
I was
okay,
excited about that. Um, and then a couple others, yeah, they Giving Yourself Away, which isn't a deep cut, but it's not something that gets played live that often.
okay.
So that was on there. Um, and then Over the Edge was another one, which we were
Oh, love that
that
song.
was a Warren choice.
Really?
None of us were really that familiar with it. Like me and the bassist Matt, like he was like, yeah, Warren wants to do this song. So we all listened to it together. This was when we were on Monsters of Rock. We all listened to it together and we were like, wow, this is actually a really great song.
Yeah,
We were
it's
like,
off.
good call, Warren.
Yeah, it's off the '99 album,
Yeah,
1999, and that is a great song. There's
it
some
is
like really good
phenomenal.
songs on that album. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
shit on that album and just like overlook it because it's 1999, and like oh my gosh, yeah, so that's badass that Warren wanted to do that. That was
Yeah,
cool.
It's a
well,
psychological
Warren
thing,
wanted to
isn't it?
do.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Warren wanted to do Walking the Dog too. A lot of the deeper cuts were Warren choices. He, I guess, is bored, which fair enough.
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
badass.
he picked all good ones.
All right, all right. Richie, busy? Any questions on the show?
No,
Oh,
nothing coming to mind actually.
Okay.
I'm drawing
I
a blank.
I was gonna say because now do they have a couple shows coming up this weekend now, or like
No,
when's the next couple shows?
nothing till M3, which is kind of in your neck, Crash. You should come
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yeah, that's about 45 minutes to an hour away from me,
Yeah.
give or take.
So
So,
yeah, we're there May 4th as M3. And
mhm.
then July, I forget what day in July, but Rockin' the Dam. I know there's an August show in Illinois that just got announced.
Okay,
So
I need to
very
organize a trip
nice.
to America. I think there's so
oh
many bands that I missed.
yeah.
I was gonna say,
I love it there though. I would move there if I could, but probably not right now.
so you've never been to America at all?
No, I've been a couple of times.
Oh,
I've
okay,
been to
all right.
LA. I saw was it Poison when they played with Joan Jett maybe like 3 years ago,
Oh, okay, on
and
the
Oh,
like
some
nice.
other
the
people in there
stadium
at that
tour.
big stadium. Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
yeah, I
Yeah.
was there for
Nice.
that.
very nice.
And I went a couple of other times before that, but I didn't see any bands at that point. But I really want to go to Tennessee. So I really want to see that.
That's where I'm at.
Yep.
there with you.
Come crash.
Yeah, there's shows everywhere down in Nashville. Like
I
you
know,
won't be
That's
bored.
someone told me. And I was like, Monday to Sunday. Starts at 10 a.m. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I need to be there. I want to be a part of all this. We get nothing here. Like, not until Friday night, Saturday night, maybe a Thursday night, but everywhere's like an hour away. So it's really hard to even want to go that way. And then it's an hour to get back. That's like $100 Uber. You know, I'm not.
Ooh.
$100.
Wow.
Yeah, $100 to get into the valley, which is mainly where all the bands are. You know, if you want to see your friends or anything like that, and then it's $100 to get back. Plus, you know, one beer is like $12 now, so it's
Well,
really unaffordable. And the band
Yeah,
pass
it's
is usually
bad.
pretty good, but you know, it's really expensive. And as much as that is like, once you have to leave at like 6 o'clock if you get there at 7. You want to be out by 2 a.m. or something, and then so it's
Have you
just,
friends
sometimes
you can
it's worth
stay
it.
with once you go out?
Yeah, I should, but I don't have any friends. No, I do. I do. I just I like being knowing where I am when I wake up, kind of thing.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah.
no,
Had a few-
I
had a
agree with
few
that. Yeah.
Drinks, and then
Yeah.
wake up and be like, okay, this person has a hallway and another hallway outside the store. I don't know how to get out of here, and then you get stuck, and then you're like doing the walk of shame.
Well, that's
Yeah.
quite
Walk of
smart.
shame.
I don't know. So, no. No.
Even like with me, like when I go to like random place, I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't want to stay here for longer than an hour, and
Yeah, and
you
you're
know,
like, and what if you want a coffee and stuff? And they're like, oh, would you like a coffee? And it's like, no, I don't want to be here anymore. I
Yeah.
want to go. It's
What?
like, no, not really.
And I would imagine it'd be worse, like if you're alone too. Like if you're
Yeah.
with like a
Yeah.
couple friends or whatever, then
Oh,
that's
look,
no big deal.
if I go out with my best friend, yeah, I'm more than happy to be wherever she is and do whatever she wants. And same as my other best friend. I got 2 girl best friends. I like have that friendship with them that we don't talk ever, and then when we do talk, we're besties and
Yes.
catch up. I'd go anywhere with them. I went and saw Slash when Slash just did his own thing with her, and that was great. And we stayed in the city and things. And we went to Knotfest and whatever. Like with her, happy to. But if I randomly have too many drinks and then decide that I'm gonna go out, but like whatever, I'm gonna go rip up the town, and then I get out and I run into some sort of friends and then hang out with them, and then they're like, I'm gonna come back to our place and stay there, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I wake up, oh crap, my phone, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to be here anymore. You're like, let's stay, drink, let's hang out again. It's like, nah, I'm sober now. I regret all of this.
Well, at least you're sober now. That's the big perk out of all that. So,
am I?
What's in the
This is true.
drink?
Am I? No. It's horrible Milo mocha. I highly don't recommend it to anybody.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Don't.
it's not good. Good.
So that kind of leads me to the next segment here, and that is going to be, well, Richie kind of brought this up, and Mizzy, do you want to talk a little bit about the time that you were on The Voice?
I can. I'm happy to. Yeah, some of it's good, some of it's bad, obviously. My time, I was going through a weird phase of myself. Just get this quick part out. That my ex at the time, he didn't want to come with me. He wanted nothing to do with it. He was all like, you are a piece of shit. Rah, rah. Like, I hate that you're doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. No one likes you. Everyone hates you. So by the time I went, I wasn't in a good place. So I drank a little bit.
Why did he not want you to do it?
He thought it was lame, basically, and that's pretty much it. He didn't really like me doing anything, I suppose. Hated everything that I did. It was just one of those boyfriends, just not a very nice person overall. Just didn't like it. I don't know. So I went by myself, and then I finally got a friend to come with me later on. But other than that, so I was a little bit of a drunk, because I was a little bit sad. Also, in that time, I sort of drank most weekends and everything. I was a bit of a rock and roller, playing in the bands on the weekends, getting drunk, whatever. Did that. So that was that phase. That was then. So I went on as a rock chick. So I did show them that I could play guitar and write my own music and sing and whatever. Because I didn't audition in like the very first. Wait, hang on. Let me go right back. Sorry. How it started, I was at work and the audition came out and said, do you want to audition? So I just filled out some forms, and then they came back and said, yes, we'd like you to audition. So I auditioned, and that's when I had my guitar and stuff, and I sang them something else. And then they're like, oh, okay, but you wrote here that you like being a rock chick and that the world needs a rock chick or something like that. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. They're like, do you have more of a that sort of thing that we can use? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I put on my sparkly rock chick outfit, and then they're like, okay, we need you to pick 40 songs, and out of those 40 songs, we will pick which one you're going to perform.
Wow.
So
okay.
so then I was either gonna go Poison by Alice Cooper. Love that song. I think the key might be a little low for me, but I was either gonna be that one, or it was gonna be, which is the one, Bad Reputation by Joan Jett. So that was the one and then they sent me, so this was 10 auditions in, mind you. So first I already talked to the producers, then done another audition, then another audition, then another audition. There were a lot before I actually got into this part of it where it was picking the 40 songs. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah. And then the whole time they were like, rock chick vibes, rock chick vibes. I'm like, okay, rock chick. So then they sent me a track, because they had to cut the song shorter, into like 60 seconds. So then they sent me that, which was the 60-second, and then they were like, I'm like, this isn't the part that you wanted me to do. The lyrics were all messed up, and I was like, who did this? And they're like, you just do whatever you want. Just pick whatever verses, whatever chorus you want to put in there. And I was like, ugh, this does not sound like I'm getting through. So I was kind of already like, okay, I feel like I'm going to be used as a gimmick a little bit here. It doesn't seem very serious. And also, they would send cameras out to people's houses, usually for the ones that are going through. So there'd be another really good indication that you're going through the next round, because they need that imagery from like, oh, this person's backstory, their cat died when they were 3, that sort of thing. I wrote this song about my cat. I'm like, oh, cute. Sorry, imagination. So then finally they sent me my plane tickets, and they booked my hotel and everything like that. And so then I get there, and again, after like 10 auditions, I'm getting through and talking to the producers numerous times, and just them back and forth for ages. And then it was filmed 6 months before it was shown on TV. So I was in Sydney for 3 weeks. This usually doesn't happen. I think it's usually only like 2 weeks for most contestants, but I was there for 3 because this was during COVID. So I wasn't allowed to get back once Sydney closed its borders again. So I couldn't get back to Queensland. So I had to wait there for another week, which was fine, because they give you like $800 a week to cover your food and stuff. They pay for your hotel, which was really nice. And what else they do? Can't remember what else, but just that's already really good the way that it is. So then the first week that we're there, we do the filming. So that's the stuff where you're sitting in the chair and talking and everything like that, and just being like, oh, who's your inspiration? And you're like, Bob Marley or whatever. Obviously Bob Marley. So I was like, I don't know. And I think I was sober at this. I was sober at this point. This is fine. So when they're asking me these questions, I was good. I was like, yeah. But I was really silly. I was really silly, and it was fun. I was trying to make everyone laugh. We had to do like a photo shoot, and I was pretending to be a hot dog or something. I don't know. I was being an idiot, and they were loving it. And they're like, do a pose. And I'm like, you bitch. And they're like, don't do that. And I'm like, okay. They're like, do another pose. I'm like, and they're like, stop it, Missy. And I'm like, okay. And then I'll do that one from White Chicks where she crouches down and does
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're done with you, move on. I'm like, they loved it though. I don't know, I probably really annoyed them. So then we did like practice ad stuff for headphones, and we walked around this room and had to look around the room like, oh, this is nice. I always casually wear headphones in this room and walk around, which means if you get picked for that, then you get to be on the ad and then you get money. So that's great. And then you have to walk through these doors that don't actually open and do all these posing and stuff, and then you're done. Then you're sent home, and then you stay in you stay in the hotel for like another week, and then the week later. So by then, me and my friend had a couple of nights out, having fun. We had a lot of time to do nothing, so we did that. And then then on the it was like 6 a.m. was my actual audition. It's not at nighttime, but on the show they're like, oh, what a great night and everything. You're like, yeah, it's 6 a.m. But we're pretending it's not 6 a.m.
Right,
it's not 6 a.m. So then So then I was on the stage. You do like 3 practices before, and I think they may use some of that footage as well in case you mess up on your actual audition where all the people are there. So I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think they absolutely can use whatever footage they have, and you got the band behind you and everything, which is really fun. That was really fun. I had a lot of fun doing this other stuff. So the night before I went to do the actual show, me and my friend, because she was supposed to be on the TV too. Like, we had the idea that she was going to be, and we were like, oh, you know what? We'll just have 1 glass of wine, and then we'll go to bed or watch a movie and go to bed. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Oh, we'll just have 1 more glass of wine. We'll just have 1 more. I think the pub's still open. Let's go to the pub. It's only 2 a.m. It's like 4 hours. We'll be right. And we're like, it's only like 2 hours. We'll be totally fine. Whatever.
I couldn't do that. I wouldn't be able to do that. Yes.
And then,
Yeah.
In my 20s, probably.
I was in
now,
my 20s.
no.
So it's fun. And so and then the bus arrives at 5 a.m. ready to take us. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. Perking up. I'm excited. Adrenaline rushing. There's still all that still happening. I'm great. I'm great in the bus, like. So I get there. The lights and everything brought like perked me up a bit. So I was like, yeah, I'm back. And then they were interviewing me, asking me a couple of questions, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it seems like you were kind of like in it, but not in it at the same time.
Some of it. So at the start, when they're asking me questions, they are going back and forth between sober me and like half cut me. And I'm watching this, and I was wearing eye contacts, and I lost the first pair that I had. So in the next, like, it's also swapping which eye contacts and what my eye color's changing each time, and so when the one like, and then I'm like totally sober, and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, I'm like blah blah blah, and then I'm like, oh, and then it flips back to me being like all bubbly and stuff again, just like, oh, so.
Now for I guess we should ask this first. For context, can we play the video of it?
Well, yeah, sure. It's okay. Now I can't really.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes,
All right. So I will share the screen here, and we can
look for the
see what we could actually live with Mizzy here on this. So, and all right. So
was actually really kind, and I wish they kept what he said, because his was a lot more about music, and like his response was really lovely, and he's like, oh, you know, if I'm back in Australia after this, I'd love to come and see your band or get tickets. I think everyone should get tickets, you know, instead of just being like, oh, there was a map and I didn't quite follow it. And I was standing there thinking, but I know that you know that they picked this for me. Like, I know that you know that, but you know.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
you know, and that's the thing. Did you have any? Did you talk to these judges beforehand at all, or afterhand?
No, but guys, Sebastian's perfume smells like sandalwood. Keith's a lot shorter than I am. Like, he's a short man. Like, he's actually quite. Because I'm 5'10", so I'm pretty tall, but he's only like 5'4".
Really?
Anyway, the main, he's quite short. The main thing I did want to say about what the important part about going on The Voice, like, is the contracts, right? So what you don't actually want, I suppose if you do for the show, a chair turns, right? You go to the next level, you get to continue on, right? Also, behind this chair turning, in the contracts, you're now locked into something for 4 years. They own you for 4 years. Once the chair turns, you're locked in. So pretty much, which is why you see a lot of contestants that they've won a year before, they've come second, you never hear about them again, right? Okay. Because there was in the round that I was in, I'm not going to say, I probably shouldn't say which company it is that looks after it all, but just say this management company who work with The Voice, they do this thing. So you get through, you win, awesome, you get this money. Then what the contract used to be like was, and I think they only did just change it on my one, but so you go into, they're like album, film clip, whatever. Your budget was like 10 grand. To work with this company is going to be a lot more than that to make an album. There goes all your money. Right, there goes your prize money. So then they also be like, oh, but we have to pay everyone that made your film clip. That's going to cost you like
Yeah,
$20,000 or something. And now you're going to have to pay for your distribution and
dirty.
pay for this. And if you can't afford that, well, we're not going to manage you. So you're stuck with them for 4 years. You can't do much. I think you can still use parts of your social media, but it has to be approved by the management. I'm not 100% sure on this part, how what you are and aren't allowed to post, but they do own you for the next 4 years. So you can't sign up to anyone else. You're not allowed to go outside of their thing. But the thing is, you're trapped in there because you can't do anything without their permission. So when I got up there and I after reading the contracts, I was kind of hoping a chair wouldn't turn because I did not want to be stuck in that. I mean, there was also the hype of, oh yeah, I'm going to be on TV. That's going to be great for my whatever. That's great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. But then you end up, you end up back doing nothing. And I've seen some people that I'd have a friend that did win. Can't remember his name now. Something Patty. Well, not my friend, I guess, but he, he went. I've seen him at pubs down in Melbourne and stuff, and it's like the winner of The Voice, something, whatever year it was, performing, and then I went there, and there's like 5 people in the room.
I was gonna say, does anyone really like go out just because of that, or
No.
because I mean, even over here in America, I this is way before Sam's time, but like the first couple seasons of American Idol, which was like the big show, like the pioneering show for these type of shows, and like Clay Aiken, Ruben Studdard, like even like Bo Bice was like a runner up, Kelly Clarkson,
Yeah.
I believe, Carrie Underwood, and like they all got big, or like had a couple albums at least, even like the runner ups and stuff. But that's a good point that you bring up is like, damn well that they ain't getting none of that prize money, especially if they put out an album.
No, you're now trapped. It's so I'm not sure how great it is. And even Guy Sebastian's brother, he went on one of these shows, and where's he now? But from what I did hear from someone else that is in the Australian industry, and he was like, well, the thing is, the labels or anything didn't want him because we already have a Guy Sebastian. Why do we don't need another one? They sound the same, they look the same, it's been done. So it's like no label's going to really want that, even though they have all the connections, but it's just not really what's going to sell off Guy Sebastian's brother is going to be, that's going to be his presence as that. So it's not really something you want to be. But yeah, I said to one of the girls when she got through, I was like, girl, have you got any of your own songs out? Because you need to be doing that right now. She's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, oh, it's like, they're like, sorry, the label will do it. And I'm like, no, they will own it. They'll take all the money, and like they'll take like 75% or whatever you do, and then you'll only be left with like 5% after the business takes their cut out of your half or your percentage there. They'll take that out of you. And I'm like, if you have your own songs before, so then by the time it's like in April, so this was filmed in like November, I think, and then once April hit, then that was when the contract starts or something like that. So I was like, in between, I'm like, girl, you've got between September and April to write and produce as much of your own music at a good price as quick as possible and get it out there for when you're on TV before it gets shown in June. I'm like, just get it out there. That way you'll have your own backup stuff which you can make all the money from. And she didn't really care for it, to be honest. No one really wanted to listen to me because I was probably half cut.
Well, I was gonna say I've heard horror stories like that, like because like when I talked to Michael Kelly Smith from Brittany Fox, and I'm sure Sam heard stories from like Stephen Pearcy and like other musicians that he talked to as well. When Brittany Fox signed their first contract for their debut album, if the CD sold for, or the album sold for $10, the record company took $9 of that, and the band had to split $1 5 ways, because 4 for the members and then 1 for the manager. So that's
kind of like YouTube.
Yeah, and that's so crazy to me. It's like you have to just have a gold album just to probably even break even, if that.
Yeah, when I was little, the contract I was under that we got out of when I was like 16 or something, which was with a certain label. I probably shouldn't say, oh, it's not really going to matter. It was Sony, but the contract seemed pretty cool. It was like, okay, so if they write the song, it's 75-15%, and if we write the song, it's 50-50, which is great, except our half was also the business. So they kept all their money on their side, but our half was, okay, so that pays for the touring, it pays for the stages, it pays for the outfits, it pays for the plane tickets, it pays for everything out of our quarter. Mm-hmm. So what do us girls get left with? It's like nothing. Right. So yeah, it's pretty because we have to read these contracts. And I think anyone, if you're going on The Voice and you are auditioning and anything like that, please read the contracts first. Make sure you're okay with it. before you choose to do that. And also they can well, because of my audition and whether I was good or bad, doesn't really bother me either way, but I was absolutely mutilated online. I got slammed. People were like, oh my god, I've heard a dog swallow chains and choked to death that sounded better than that. And I was like,
Really?
yeah, they got horrible,
That's shocking.
horrible
Like,
comments, and I was so sad. Like, mind you, I was already in a bad
yeah, but
place, and then to have that happen, I was like,
these comments are coming from people who are interested in pop and hip hop and all that. They don't understand rock and roll. I mean, your one Rita Ora clearly doesn't understand rock and roll. There's supposed to be a bit of dirt on the engine, right? It's supposed to be a little bit messy. It's
Oh, yeah.
live.
it was
It's
fun. I
real.
had a lot of fun, and the audience loved it. Like, the
Yeah.
response from everyone in the room wasn't what came across on the TV, which really sucked, because it was really fun, and it was the energy in the room was exciting, and the audience were really happy, but they didn't show any of that. They were just like, there you go, on your way. But yeah, so it kind of sucked for that, but I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun over those 3 weeks. I absolutely loved it. It was a really good experience, being able to be in the backstage and pretending like you're a famous person in a way, like, and all the other contestants, they were really nice too. All different types of people, all different kinds of musicians. It was really fun. So yeah.
Okay. And that's the thing of what, like what Sane's World commented here. He said it was a lifetime experience. Like, not many people can honestly say that they were on The Voice. And like, just from first thought for me, I wouldn't think that, like, how many people actually do like go and can actually get on TV,
Yeah, it's 6,000 people apply or something like that, and then only 60 get through.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good. So even if you get put up there and you're not going through, it's still great to be able to have been picked. And it is going to be a forever thing. It's like, oh, Missy Max was on The Voice. And it's like, yeah. I was famous for 2 days. 2 days after it aired, I got my 15 seconds of fame. And I was out at a petrol station down the road, and I was just like getting my petrol. I'm on my way back to work. And this lady's like, oh my God, are you the girl from The Voice? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. She's like, oh, cool. I was like, yeah.
Well, see you later.
Yeah. Bye. There were a couple of other people, but my Facebook went off. Which was nice.
So Corey here comments and says, Mizzy,
yes.
Who's Mizzy with? Band, solo? You want to answer what you're doing now?
I don't know. I'm supposed to do so much. So I'm doing the heart attacks, but that's been put aside because I've had this guy approach me who's been in the music industry, and like, he's worked with AC/DC, he's worked with a bunch of other people.
Okay.
Right? And he's like, bro, he just sent me a message. Bro.
That's not a good start.
If we're here in Australia, or your dog. No, he didn't say that. He was actually really polite. But he did say to me, he's like, your music doesn't match your look. And I'm like, okay. It's like, I'm not saying you don't have to say anything. I'm like, I'm not being mean. I'm just making an observation. And he backed up his credentials, and he's like, look, this is what we did back in the 90s or whatever. I was like, okay. And then he said, so you're a blonde rock and roll Barbie, I guess. And I was something like that. And I was like, yeah, pretty much. And he's like, well, so is everybody else. And he's like, this is why labels or people aren't really looking for you. This is why you're doing all this work and nothing's happening, is because your image has already been done 1,000 times. So it's not new. It's not exciting. It's not different. So he's like, and also it doesn't feel like you're genuine. And I was like, I'll go. Fair enough. So I had to think about it. And he's right. I did look around at my whole room and everything like that. So I started tearing myself apart in a million pieces. So I stopped wearing my eye contacts because, again, fakeness. I had to pull apart everything. So that's where I'm at right now. But I think that I'm still going to keep the heart attacks as a side project over it as something else, so I can keep my 80s pop bubbly fun and everything like that. But I needed to come back down to earth a little bit. So I'm going to do like a pop rock album. And then, and just go back to the way that I like looking, that I dressed comfortably.
Don't let some. Sorry. Don't let some dickhead get in your head. Last live stream, you were very enthusiastic about your art and you were passionate about it, and you had an original, outrageous idea.
No,
I don't think you should let some. out of touch guy
I know. I think I've
get
done
in
that.
your head, man. Don't
I
let.
feel like I've done that a little bit. I do that to
Yeah.
myself, but he was right about a lot of things because it did happen to, like, wearing my eye contacts led back to some childhood problems, and I've worn them since I was 16 because of something that upset me, and then it was like, you know, like a cover up sort of thing, and then the way that I dress and everything I was doing was
Well,
actually running away from who I actually am, and I wanted
I
to
don't,
be more.
I don't know if I would necessarily say like I do somewhat agree with Richie here. Like you just, but what I would just say is maybe focus. You need a little bit more focus. I would
I
say,
agree.
like
I'm
I think that would be make a world of difference because you might have way too many projects going on at one
I
time.
do, and that's the problem. I get so excited. I'm looking at my things to do board, and it is chockers packed of just random stuff. Which is why, yeah, this is why I've decided to actually pull everything apart and do an album. I need to do an album basically because I haven't, and that way I'm like, maybe get a band together, maybe do it by myself. I prefer not to be on a stage by myself. To be honest, it's a little bit
That's
meh.
understandable.
I'd,
Yeah.
I'd rather, like, when you see these bands and you have these people to interact with and the energy, like, you know, when there's so much more energy being in a band room than there is with you standing by yourself, like in my room recording or something. I love having friends and I love having a band with me to talk about it. Like, you know, when you get off the stage, if you've done a show by yourself, you're like, good for you. Awesome job there, Mizzy. Or you like, you get off with your band and you're like, you go have beers and you hang out and you're like, what did you like about this part? And it's like, look, I thought I could play better here, but I loved how I did this. And it's like, my head went out. It's like, oh my God, I did hear that for like 1 second. It's like, I totally fixed it when I was up there. No one noticed. And you know, you get to play and talk about all that stuff, which I really love having that bond to do that with those people. And you know, I'm going staying in hotels and doing this other fun stuff. I love having the band to do that. And when I get bored, I could talk
Right.
to
Yeah.
one of them and be
Yeah.
like, hey, I just had this other idea. What do you think about this? And they're like, no, yes, no. And you can discuss with the whole group about what they think of this idea instead of me going, oh, here's an idea. Here's another idea. You're in the car.
I'm
So,
that kid.
well, and that's the point though, as well. Like, I think, I mean, this is on a very, very smaller scale, but like, whether you do like, if you do a YouTube channel, it is a
Yeah.
lot more fun when you do have other people to go off of you, you know, like when to
Right.
throw something off. But like, there's a certain magic there when you're also doing it by yourself. Like that, like when I do videos by myself, I bring something out a little bit differently than I do than say with you guys, you know, or what
Yeah,
have you.
true.
So
Mhm.
you just gotta find what works, and maybe both might work. Yeah, you don't know. So
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Mi-
Yeah.
I have a question, Mizzy. Do you have ADHD?
I don't know.
Seriously, because I have it.
mean, it has been suggested many, many times that that's definitely something. Like, I
Uh,
don't, because there's everyone's diagnosing themselves with stuff these days. I try not to get on board with it. But if I were going to say I had
yeah.
anything, 100%.
okay.
Especially my dad. My dad is a massive adrenaline junkie, and my mum's like a workaholic. I don't think any of them sleep.
Kind of
I don't know.
hyper.
They're both pretty hyper. Dad's extra hyper. He does hang gliding, motorbike riding. He's either on a boat somewhere or he's riding down a hill on a BMX bike, and he's like 60. And I'm like, whoa, bro, you just ran off a cliff. I don't know, but so you combine these two together, and then you get me. I'm
Then you
very
get Mizzy Max.
distracted, hyper thing, and then people like, you know, if I go out places and I'm excited, and it's like, what drugs are you on? I want what same drugs that you're on, and I'm like, I'm not on any drugs. I'm sorry.
I'm high on life.
I'm high. Wait till
See
I
ya.
crash. See ya. See if you want to be around me then when I'm like not in my good mood, curled up in a ball, crying for no reason because I got bored about something. I don't know.
Yeah. Now,
You know?
Sam, do you have ADHD? We're just gonna go around the table
Yes.
here. Do you
Yes.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
All
love
right.
this for you. Like,
I feel like most people in the music industry have something. I don't.
you need it.
Yeah, you definitely need it to
Yeah.
be able to do all that. And I mean, I feel like that's part of what fuels the desire for it. I mean, a lot of people with that kind of stuff, they'll have like a unique interest and like something that they kind of focus and narrow in on. And for all of us, I think that's what like this is what the interest is
Mm-hmm.
this kind of music and this stuff. You know,
If I
some
didn't
people
have it, I'd
it's
be
I also have it. I did regular school up until 12 years of age. I went to a special needs school
Ooh.
after that
Oh,
because I couldn't sit
darling.
straight, and I dropped out at
Okay.
16. But you know, tapping into ADHD is what I should have been doing rather than blotting it out, if you know what I mean, because it is
Yeah.
creative. You need to be
So-
able to harness it and regulate your creativity, and it's hard to do that
Oh,
when
a
you have a million and
billion.
one things
There's so
flying
many
at you
ideas.
all at
Like
once in your
every
head.
single day, there's
You know?
over 10, and I have to try not to get distracted by them. And that's why
Yeah.
I've got Band of the Week, and that's why I've got Inside Band of the Week. I've got 5 other topics inside of that, and then heart attacks. And then doing the heart attacks have to have the same amount of stuff. And it's like, I can't do all of this. I can't do this. And like, and then I got to write my songs, and I can produce them. Then I got to write a new song. I think for no reason, just suddenly decided because I heard this song, and I was like, now I need to write this song. Now I need to cover this one because oh my god, this song is great. Now I need to suddenly cover that. So then I just didn't finish the other project of writing a new
Yeah.
song. That's gone in the bin too. But then I was supposed to also just do that makeup video and do that cooking video. And then I forgot to talk to that person that I was meant to talk to. And I was like, oh my God. And then I go crash. And then I just stare at a wall for ages because I can't do anything. Like I literally can't move.
You just
'Cause I
get overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to do ever.
But,
And
like-
no one can help me because trying to talk to me and get me to stick onto a project, the people can't. Like I'm too excited. Like, calm down, calm, stop. And I'm like, but what if?
What I tend to do is I'll have a bunch of projects going at once. Even when I write, say, for a documentary, I have many different paragraphs that I jump around, and then I'll kind of put it all
Oh,
together at
cute.
the end. And if I get bored at one project, I go to another. And if I get bored with a project, I go to a thumbnail. You know yourself, like I hop to one thing at a time. But as I've gotten older, the hyperactivity of ADHD has diminished. But
Oh, that
I still have
sucks.
all
They
the other
said the
things.
fun part. I don't want that. I'm gonna keep. I was like eat healthy and keep working out because I do not want just the brain stuff and then no hyperactivity or fun or that dopamine hit that comes randomly 24/7. It's like this kind of thing. Like I don't know.
Well,
But yeah, no, I just need to stick to one thing because otherwise I do get overwhelmed.
I was
What
gonna
about you,
say
Crash?
I'm gonna be the oddball out because I don't think I do. I don't. I'm just chill.
Go to a doctor now.
Yeah. Well, I
Well-rounded.
will say the only thing I have is diabetes. That's the only thing I have. I don't have ADHD. I got diabetes. So yeah. So I'm the real.
Give and take.
I lost it.
Have you got
Yes,
Brett
I
Michaels
got the Brett Michaels
diabetes?
diabetes. And,
Oh, that's a good one.
Do you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to do
every
the
time you
injection
eat.
thing
Oh
every
my
day?
God.
so yeah.
Do you
So
have
like
insulin?
me and
fuck.
needles know a little bit about each other. Not in the drug way, but you know, I'm not
You
afraid
want
of
meth?
needles. I'll say
You
that.
want meth, Crash?
The reason why Crash came about, I'm just kidding. So,
Sugar Crash.
so yeah, so I guess I'm the odd one out. So that's why I gotta keep you guys all focused and in line here. You know, keep you all within the ballpark here with me.
Yeah, man.
I love this.
Yeah.
Captain of the ship.
So, Sam, I know you were on a time limit because you actually got a live show to do, like a real live show, not a YouTube live show. A
This is
real
also a
show.
live show. Well, yeah, I'm just teching this one. I'm not hitting stuff until tomorrow.
Oh, okay, all right. So
That's
you're taking a little bit of a
exciting.
break, somewhat, huh? So,
Kinda, yeah.
all right. So yeah, because
Lazy.
man, like whenever you need to jump off, just
I
get
still
on.
got like 15.
15,
good for
okay.
another like 15, yeah.
All right, good. All right, just
I'm just
wanted
being
to check in
blinded
with-
by the sun right
I
now.
was gonna say,
but
say the
Jesus
sun is
Christ.
setting on Sam.
Beautiful.
It's
I like
gotten
this
right
sun.
there.
So
I can't see any of you.
So, Richie, now I want to throw the ball in your court here. We talked a little bit about what you
Yeah.
wanted your segment to be about, and we are going to be going back to the what ifs. So, everyone that's watching, we normally do a what if on these live streams, and this week, Richie wanted to do what if Skid Row never broke up with Sebastian Bach after Subhuman Race. Let us know in the chat what you guys think, but Richie is going to take the floor here first and give his theory on what would happen in the world.
Okay. So what I think would happen, right, is I've read Sebastian's book many times, and I think the first thing that would happen is the band would actually all have to get together and talk about their feelings, as gay as it sounds. They'd have to talk about what's going on, what they're not happy with. Then they'll have to come to an agreement and go, okay, yeah. Sebastian's like, yeah, I was a bit mad, I did cocaine, all that shit, right? So so then what would happen is revolutions per minute would not happen. I don't think that album would happen whatsoever. I think Angel Down would probably become the Skid Row album with a few songs thrown in by the rest of the guys. I think Sebastian would be given more creative control because that was an issue for him. He wasn't allowed to write songs really. He has maybe 1 or 2 credits on Subhuman Race, and that's about it, right? I think they may manage to pull themselves back up the chain a little bit, popularity wise. They might become like Motley Crue went down for a while, right, in popularity, and then they became relevant again. I think Skid Row could have done the same thing. Axl Rose, his version of Guns N' Roses, would have taken Skid Row on the tour again, right, during the early 2000s, and I think all would be well. I think all would be well today. Sebastian would be mentally stable. He wouldn't be unhinged all the fucking time on social media, right?
So, well, that
and
leads me to this question.
Right?
Just when you brought up Torn with Guns N' Roses, or like with Axl, now that would be around this time of the time that Chinese Democracy came out, because Sebastian does, or no, sorry, Axl does guest vocals on 3 songs on Angel Down, right? Yeah, so, and those are actually like pretty good songs.
True, yeah.
On here, and also when they collaborate together. And that's actually not a bad album. And that was what, 2006, I think, or 7?
Angel Down, I think.
Yeah, no,
this
me
is
too.
on old, so I think it's 07 for that. And I think 09, I think it was near summertime or spring of 09 that Chinese Democracy came out for us. Now, we had the demos and leaks for that album anyway. So. But I think it was the whole Pepsi thing, right? Pepsi had said, right, if we will give away free Pepsis or something, if
yeah, okay,
yeah.
Yeah. I actually did a video on Chinese Democracy, so I am kind of up the snuff on some of the details on that, because it was originally supposed to be released in 2004, I think.
Yeah,
and that's when the Greatest Hits came out then, from Geffen. So, but yeah, that's so weird. Like, this album here that I'm holding in my hand cost more than any other album to produce.
Is that? I can't.
Yeah,
see.
it would have.
Crazy. Like, it's like, I don't like, in today's money, it was like crazy. It was like more than tens of millions. It's absolutely crazy. But
I was 16 when the Greatest Hits of Guns N' Roses came out, right? And I was doing work experience in HMV. It's like our version of Virgin at the time. We had actually no, it was Virgin. I was in Virgin. Sorry, we have Virgin HMV. But anyway, a lot of people were complaining and sending their CDs back, because if you remember, there was a lot of like fake scratches on the top of the disc, like to make it look cool.
Yep.
But so many people were like returning it, go, oh, my CD scratched.
Yes, I actually have that right over here.
Yeah.
I kind of don't feel like getting up right now, but no, I know, because when I first bought it, I was like 12 years old. I was like, what the fuck is this? But yeah, so definitely an album that I remember. One of the first albums I ever bought, I guess, technically, for my actual own collection. So that's like, because I don't like Greatest Hits. I quickly got out of Greatest Hits, buying Greatest Hits and stuff. But like, that's one I keep just because that is like one of the first albums I did ever buy.
How don't you like the Greatest Hits?
Not a fan. No, I'll just buy the whole. If I like the band, I'll just buy the whole catalog. That's kind of how.
You feel like they deserve a whole listen, sort of vibe.
Oh yeah. Especially if I like them. Now, if there's like
fair.
if there's like a band I don't really care for, even then I still kind of don't want the Greatest Hits, because I don't really like the band anyway. So why the hell am I gonna get the Greatest Hits? So,
take that.
I had discovered their cover of Ain't It Fun on the Greatest Hits, because I didn't listen to the Spaghetti Incident. Right. I said on End of the Row, like, I had saved the Spaghetti Incident for myself, because you know, I'd gotten into Guns N' Roses and I was like, this is the only album that's next. Like, this is it. I'm not buying it just yet. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
And then I bought it and I was like, what the fuck's this?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all covers, and that's the biggest disappointment to me.
Oh
That's the
my
biggest
god,
for
I haven't
spaghetti.
heard it, but I did hear that. How disappointed people were that it was all covers.
It
was
grows
like,
on you.
why?
It does grow on
Does
you.
it? Okay. I mean, I'm just not a covers guy, so like, you're just not gonna win me over. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you'll have better chance to win me over to say I love Subhuman Race than any covers album ever.
I think sometimes when it is that sort of thing, when they are just putting on covers, it may be playing it a lot safer than what if they were to write all the songs and make
I
this
agree.
new music that didn't, it didn't have the same relation to their fans as it did back in the 80s or something. And then, you'd probably prefer to have a cover song on there than some song that you've spent time listening to. Like, oh, they're just not the same anymore. They can't write, they can't play. It's all crap. Like, they may have been worried about something like that happening. With
Well,
that song that
I
they did
agree
release.
that could be an angle. Another angle
Possibly.
could be that they're just lazy, or and then a third
We need
angle.
something.
A third angle is, especially for the Guns N' Roses situation. At that point in time, they were like ready to kill themselves, and the record company didn't know if any of these guys would die from drugs the next day.
Oh God, that
So
could
like they're
also
like,
be
let's
an
just
angle.
get this out and make
Yeah.
some money, and like to
That's
have the contract
horrible.
fulfilled somewhat. Another
Like
album.
Yeah,
Duff was, he had recovered during that time. If I was listening to his book last year,
Right.
and I'd read it already, but he was recovering from his pancreas exploding at that time.
Oh,
So
really?
he was the only one he was the mediator sort of thing.
Okay. All right.
And they were upset that Axl had brought in a guy from his hometown and credited him on the interview with the vampire thing. So
okay.
yeah, there was a lot going on that they weren't happy.
That's right. That was on the soundtrack. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Billy Weeks here says Sebastian does backing vocals on "Sorry" from Chinese Democracy. That's a damn good song, and I'm gonna have to listen to that again now with that in mind. Because
wow. Okay.
let me see.
I think he's
here.
turned right down the mix. Spoiler alert.
Well, I was gonna say, because I really don't like. You can really tell Sebastian, you can really tell Axl's mix in Angel Down on Sebastian Bach's album. But yeah, with this, I don't even know. I didn't read all of the liner notes here because it's a shit ton and it's in very small print.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they went through like 6 lineups in the so
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And who knows what's really even credited here? Because like Buckethead, I thought Buckethead had a little bit bigger like hand in some of these songs, but he's only really credited for like 2 or 3 here. But there's like Buckethead's sound is all over this album. Like it's hard for me to believe that he didn't have more of a hand in a lot of these songs.
Yeah, he might have wrote them and then he wasn't around to record them and they just kept his idea. You never know.
Yeah, and just said,
what
"Hey,
what a
you can't
stupid
prove nothing."
fucking gimmick, man! The fucking KFC book on his head. I heard he tried out for Ozzy's band, right? And Ozzy was like, "Oh, we like you, but you have to take the bucket off your head." Like,
I was gonna say, my theory is that
That was
Buckethead is
great.
an alien. My theory is Buckethead's an alien because the way that motherfucker plays guitar, like you ever see his hands? Like it's like absolutely crazy. And the shit
he's
that he
running on
does,
chicken gravy, man.
chicken grease, yeah, chicken grease and a wig. But yeah, I don't know. Every time I see a live performance of Buckethead, it amazes me though. Like absolutely amazes me. But that's to be said about his solo stuff. I like some of his solo stuff, but like he has like over 20 albums, and like some of it's like just weird shit though too. Like there's some really good shit, but then there's some like really weird shit. I'm like, I can't pull nothing from this album.
It's the same for Bumblefoot too.
Okay, all right. Because
Bumblefoot
I never
has some like spoken word tracks and shit.
like he's Jim Morrison. Yeah,
I love the guy, but yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Which I have to say, I never really listened to much Bumblefoot, so I'm gonna have to dig into that. You have to send me some links.
His instrumental stuff, yeah, his instrumental stuff is great, but then yeah, I think sometimes he just gets bored and
yeah,
which fair.
Yeah. So
I listened to this week. I was inspired by you, Crash. I was listening to Wasp's 1995 album. It's actually
ooh,
really fucking good, man.
the Kill Fuck Die.
No,
Or
it's
no, it's
what
still
was
not
it?
black enough.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Yeah, that yes, still not. So, do you have a favorite track or some of the tracks that stuck out to you that you liked?
The one that got the music video.
Uh, I think that's the title track, ain't it? Still not black or Black Forever, maybe or yes, I
I
know
think it's
what
Black Forever, yeah, with the
Black
crow,
Forever.
and he's
Okay,
like,
yeah, okay. That's a good song. And there's some good ballads on there, as well, like two good ballads. Now, Mizzy, that kind of reminds me. I seen this week you did a ballad from
What?
Wasp.
Oh my god, I loved that song. Yeah.
That's on
Miss You.
Golgotha, right? That
Yeah, it
okay,
is.
all right.
A lot of the album is like that, it has that vibe, but the amount of times obviously have to listen to it before you do a cover of it, and
Oh my gosh, yeah,
the
I can
fear
imagine.
of like putting out a cover of something like that, I get a bit worried. Actually, someone posted it onto like a Wasp fans page, one of my friends did, and some guy's like, "How dare you wear a pentagram while you sing this song,
Oh my,
bro?
and
What?
that
Calm." It's like,
yes, and that reminds me back to Richie's point like 15 minutes ago about trolls that comment bullshit. Like these are
this
just
guy was
people that had
serious.
absolutely no life. Don't build towards anything. Are never gonna have anything. You know, like
I don't think
it's
they're insanely
absolutely
like that.
ridiculous.
Yeah, that was so silly. Some of the stuff sometimes I'm just like, okay. This dude wrote on this thing before, he was like, "Oh, I hate girls with tattoos, but I love your music. Thank you so much." And I'm like, "I really hate broccoli, and thank you for your comment."
You just gotta give it back to them. You
Okay.
just gotta
I'm like,
give it
okay.
back to the trolls.
Just so spit, yeah. So I have the pentagram here, right? And I was wearing that, and I'm like, "Oh, he's gonna love when he sees my tattoo on my arm." I've got like the whole Satan something or other going on there.
Maybe it was
The
Blackie that
Church
was.
of Satan. I was
Maybe it
like,
was
ugh.
Blackie's burner account that commented on that.
Maybe it was
Potentially.
Blackie. Maybe Blackie's upset. He's like, "Oh, I've
Uh,
moved on from there, mate." And I'm like, "He's not Australian, but that."
uh,
But
okay.
yeah,
I mean,
but
now,
that song by Wasp, just quickly, like the way he sings it, oh my god, I could not replicate that. But apparently,
well,
he
yeah.
didn't write that. That song was written by can't remember the guy's name, but it was written by somebody else and given to Blackie. But he obviously helps write with the song. But it was
Oh,
the
okay.
story, so it wasn't. I was listening to him sing it, and it really does feel like he's gone through that experience. Like he sings it just like "Oh my soul," and it makes you want to cry. And it's like, I hope he didn't lose like a wife or a friend or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, he didn't write it, so or didn't write the lyrics at least. He would have played guitar or bass on it, but yeah. And he does it amazingly. I couldn't replicate that sound, but
Yeah. His
yeah,
voice in those
impossible.
ballads like are
I know.
very emotional. Very emotional. Even
Yeah.
throughout the whole
His
catalog. Throughout the whole
and
catalog.
yeah, every like he does it in every song, even when it's like a Electric Circus, he still has that ability to. It's almost like he's not singing just from his vocals. It's like it's singing from his whole entire body, and because he's doing that, that's what's coming out, so that's what's hitting you, and it's like,
he's the Wasp.
Yeah.
he's the wasp being stung.
So,
But yeah, amazing, loved it.
Sam, before you go,
I
do
got a
you just
split.
have a
Yes.
thought?
What's going on?
Yeah. So do you have a thought on Skid Row if they would have stuck it out
I
together?
Oh
I
yeah.
definitely think that they'd be doing. I don't know how much bigger they'd be, but I definitely think they'd be on the. I feel like they'd probably be on the stadium tour in place of Joan Jett. Maybe like that
Yeah,
would probably be about where they'd slot in. I
I can
think.
see that.
I or maybe they wouldn't make. I mean, if they stayed together in the '90s, they might have also just all fought in the 2000s. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah, killed them. They would have killed each other probably by that point. So
You never know.
Delay
But
the
I think if
inevitable.
they were able to keep it together, they definitely would have at least been doing some bigger tours and like some good support slots,
oh yeah, I
like they
agree.
were back in the day.
I agree with that.
Mm.
So, all right, bro. I know you gotta get going. It's 7
got it.
o'clock now. So
Yep, I got a split. Crash, are you doing anything May 4th, by the way?
May 4th. It's the weekend of my birthday, so I don't know.
Okay,
I don't
I
know.
will talk to you later about possibly M3. Maybe I'm gonna try to
Oh, okay. All right.
Ooh.
Like,
see
yeah,
what's
let me know.
possible with that.
Aw.
Give me a call. All right, bro.
All right, sounds
All right,
good.
Sam.
Thanks,
Thank
Sam.
y'all.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye,
Later, man.
everybody.
Take care, Sam.
See you, brother. All right. So
And then there were
now,
three.
Mizzy, do you want to kind of take a shot at the question of what do you think
Yeah.
for Skid Row if they would have stayed together?
I don't think that they would have either way. Going from
Okay.
the fighting and everything, they would have been like either dead. But if they were and they decided that they were going to get along, it would have had to get through the grunge period in the 90s, and whether Skid Row would have fit into that, like possibly. I reckon they could have probably written music more suited to the 90s and then come out in the 2000s. But I reckon because Sebastian Bach, also his look, his stage presence, his everything, he could have totally carried it. And I think maybe I think they could have been pretty big, to be honest. Like they still are now. Everyone knows who they are. But you know, with all the different lead singers that they've had, I still think that I reckon they could have been like Guns N' Roses. I reckon they could have been
Ooh.
that big still, because Sebastian Bach is still a very you know who he is. Like you see pictures of him and you know that he's like a famous 80s guy. He was also really good looking back then, not saying he's not now. Like he's aged well for an older man,
Has
but
he?
that Shh. I'm being nice. Okay, just have that weird aunt vibe, you know. Like some of the guys, they kind of like, oh, actually, this is really mean, and I don't want to be mean to another singer, but someone said he looked like a gecko. I'm like,
There's a picture.
I can't ever see it.
There's a picture of him, Tracy Guns, and some guy,
I
and
know,
they look-
and they've said that looks like someone's aunt, those weird aunts that come to the
Oh.
Christmas party or something.
Yeah, like Steven Tyler, even from Aerosmith. Yeah.
Like I love them because they're still them, and
yeah,
it's beautiful. You know, but yeah.
as weird as Tyler
wacky,
looks, I think
unfortunately.
he pulls it off though. As weird
No,
as it is,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
Because he's always looked weird. That big mouth.
yeah. Yeah,
Well,
the
it's
clown
not-
mouth.
He's always looked like that. So it's like it doesn't matter how old he's getting, like his face is going sort of even more into itself as it does, like when you get older in that direction. But
do you think he went to Turkey and got his hair done?
oh, look, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Why not? Like, you're gonna keep
Why
it.
not?
That's your thing. You know, there's a lot of people doing it now, but you know, I feel like it sucks that guys have to lose their hair early, and I think it's fine. Like, if girls, we can go and do whatever the hell we want. You know, butts, boobs, hair, nose, face, whatever, lips. Then I don't see why guys can't, you know, go and get their hair pieces or whatever it is that they want to do, because we're always throwing in hair extensions. And
They
stuff, so I
have.
think guys,
Oh, they have. Yeah.
no, they have. It blows off in the wind. It's like
Yeah.
the other side. But yeah, I think. Oh, what is Billy has said something here?
Yeah.
Can
So
I
Billy
read that?
says here, Skid Row would have if Skid Row would have kept Sebastian, I wouldn't have seen them in the billiard hall in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 20 years ago. Which you're probably 100% correct, maybe, because that would have been what 2005ish. So. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that's right. I forget what year we're in. I was like, when's that, in the 80s? And
yeah,
it's like, no, that was
yeah, that would have been 2005.
2000s.
Yeah,
That sucks. That
which
sucks.
which I can agree with everyone's theory here, because I don't think there's necessarily a wrong theory, but I think, to me, I kind of like what Sam said about if they had a stadium tour. I think they would have slotted probably in the 4th spot below Poison, in place of Joan Jett. That sounds pretty about right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right to me.
That's super accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds.
that.
So, and then also too, are we getting after Subhuman Race and they stay together? Are we getting more Subhuman Race? Are we getting new metal? Are we getting some kind of weird early 2000s shit? You know, like, or are we getting kind of more of a true to form? More to say, Skid Row.
Skid Row meets AI.
That'd be 30 years later. Yeah. But
No,
I wonder.
I
Could
don't
we
know.
ask ChatGPT
We
to
are
write
living
Subhuman
in the
Race Part
future.
2?
Yes.
You might Skid Row. And you know that South Park episode where like we're living in the future. In the future. We're living in the future.
You know, that's actually
Skid Row.
weird, because I was listening to something this week, and I might try it out myself. You could actually ask ChatGPT, like, hey, can you give me, or can you act like Jeff Bezos or a Steve Jobs, or some kind of board of director, like give it like an actual like title, and then you give them something to do, and then it comes back to you like Steve Jobs or Jeff
Oh,
Bezos or whatever, whoever
God.
you want it to be, and it would give you it, like say a song, like you said, write a song in the form of Subhuman Race, and it would give you something like that. Like
Yeah, so,
you can,
sometimes the chat GPT will and sometimes it won't, because it's like we don't allow copyright. So you have to, but then if you tell it what you want, you can say, oh, can you make this sound like Lita Ford or Joe Jett or such and such,
right,
or Guns
yeah,
N' Roses or whatever. And then it's like, sorry, we can't replicate something that's already existed. And you're like, can you make this song sound like a band that has a lead singer that has long blonde hair and has a really good guitarist in it that has black curly hair, and they're like a rock and roll band, and they sing songs similar to this, and they just label the names of songs because it's technically not, you can't really copyright the name of the song, and then send it, and then it's like, oh, I know what you're talking about, Guns N' Roses. Here's like, yeah, thanks. You knew that. You knew what I was getting at. And it kind of like, it'll just do it. If you describe it a little more of who you're talking about without telling it, then it's like, I can do that because I'm not copying technically.
mm-hmm.
So
last night I took my girlfriend's phone and mine, right, and we have Gemini on both of them, and I tried to get Gemini to have a conversation with itself.
Ah!
I was like, tell me the history of Aerosmith, and then I paused the other one just after I said it. I hit play, and they were talking to each other for like maybe 30 seconds, and then they were just kind of repeating what they were saying.
Just going in a loop.
It was like a causality paradox. It just
That's great.
but when
Oh
you
God, I
talk
want
to
to
it
try that.
yourself, the conversation flows as weird as it is. But AI is getting strange, man. It's what's
It's weird.
next?
Oh yeah,
I
and,
know,
like
it's so scary. I'm really worried about what's going to happen in the music industry. It's like when you spend so many hours, so much time on learning all these things that you've learned, when AI can just do it in 5 seconds and do a better job. Sometimes it can't replicate emotion, unfortunately, but it can do some really good stuff. So instead of like, you go to people to mix and master your songs, you don't have to anymore.
But
And it actually
with
does an
that
amazing
said,
job.
I mean, you can tell when it's AI straight away. And if I
Yeah.
know I'm watching a video that's AI, I'm like, fuck this. Like automatically I just turn it off. There's
mhm.
like a rock, I can't remember what the YouTube's called, but like they do rock documentaries, but you can tell it's
And
just
he
somebody
replaced
has
himself with
copy
an
and pasted
AI.
completely. Like
No. See, that's what I
like
mean. But is everything on the internet going to be like that? So if you go on Facebook, you go
no.
on YouTube, like, is everyone just gonna, like, the majority of businesses and people that don't want to do these things just pay for this other thing to be done? So businesses that weren't necessarily there in the first place are now going to be coming up and popping up with this, and they can advertise as much as they want because it can just keep going and reproducing more and more and more. And then the whole internet is just full of that. Will that be a possibility? I'm thinking, and
I
that just
mean,
takes over because it
They'll
can pay
always
for it.
there'll always be that, but it's like steak, man. Everybody wants a real steak, right?
mhm.
There's always going to be people who will search for something that's genuine, you know?
Yeah,
That
hopefully.
that's I agree with that. Like more times than not, people are gonna want to talk to or to see someone that's real. But then again, in a couple years, there are people that get confused and think that someone is actually on the other side, and it's
Yeah, well, it's
not
like the
someone.
like the older generation, and you have these videos that are being posted, and they're not quite aware of AI,
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, this cute whale that just floated up to my boat, and here I am scraping off all the
that might be a
where they
little
the
extreme, but yeah,
sharks.
no,
No, but for real,
yeah, no,
no,
I got you, I
they
got
do. But it's real, and I've seen these videos that keep coming randomly up on my Facebook, and I actually accidentally watched one for too long, so now I get more of them.
you.
And
Yes,
it's just like, oh,
yeah,
I rescued this baby seal and I put it on my boat and gave it a brush with this cute fuzzy brush. And it does look real, but it's AI. And these old
mhm,
people are like, oh my God, you're such an amazing person. I love the work that you do and how you say go out and save seals. God bless you. And it's like, it's not real, people.
mhm.
Like, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
real.
Like
But
in 20
all the
years,
comments are, love your work. Sorry.
it's not in 20 years we'll come home after a night out, right? And like AI will be like broadband, it'll be like that. We'll come in, we'll be drunk, be like, yeah, I want to see Tracy Gunn's front Kiss, but make it in the 70s, and it'll be boom, straight there.
yeah, yeah.
So in that sense, it'll be fun
That's
to
kind of
play
fun.
with, but you know,
I mean, you can somewhat do that now, depending on what kind of AI you have or what you want to
Yeah.
pay for. Like I mean, the future's here. Like we had this technology. I'm not gonna go on a big theory or anything, but we had this technology for a long, long time.
we had it in
Eh,
'09, man.
oh yeah, oh yeah. We. I mean, yes, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole to go
Oh,
down. But
because
like,
the deep fake stuff that they had going on first.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
read Donald
that's a
Trump.
whole thing. If that
Did
was
you
even
see
real
the
or
Donald
not.
Trump Christmas one? He did a
I
Christmas
see
song.
yeah, there's so many different ones. It's so many different ones. Like even on YouTube, I don't even know why or how YouTube allows ads in front of videos that are clearly AI and they ask for money or whatever.
They're gonna crack down on that one.
That's what
To.
they
Yeah.
say, but I mean, if they're making money, they're gonna kind of look the other way until it's absolutely needed, until they step in. So that's, but
Yeah, no,
so
no.
Justin here says AI sucks. My old producer showed me some shit that it'll do, and I was like, oh hell no! I write my own music and lyrics. Nothing wrong. I agree. That's the best way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when you work your whole life on
Yeah.
writing your own music and lyrics, and then for something to take over. And
Now I will
it's like,
say there are many positives to AI, but it comes down to who controls it and like how it's even like programmed, and even if it is deprogrammable or what have you, like on like the security of it and the
yeah,
ledger and all that stuff. So there's way more than just Chat GPT or an AI bot that's talking to you. But like the shit's gonna get wild the next couple of years. I will bet money on that.
yeah, no, absolutely. I can see that definitely be a
I
thing.
think it's like everything. You have to use it responsibly. Like if you're gonna use AI, why not use it as something to talk to bounce ideas off?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Don't
and
just copy and paste and then
yes,
fuck
that's the
that.
thing. AI can work great for some things, but just don't use it for everything. It's not going to work
Yeah.
for everything, And but that's
no, I've seen like, and the other thing I realized, like, one of my friends went mental because they were using AI and they hadn't used it before, and it was way too accommodating and too kind, and it was helping
yes,
like
yeah,
mental problems. So it's like to just say you have someone that's slightly delusional and they're
hmm
like, oh my god, like you can, like, unfortunately it can do this, and it's just like, I think that, how do I murder somebody and get away with it? It's going to help you. It's going to be like, oh well, let's look into several options of how we can do this without being seen. And it's like, hey, what? And it will, you can get it to do that sort of stuff. Or help it. Like, I'm feeling like this and I'm seeing people around me. And it's like, it'll be like, what kind of people are you seeing around you? And it can describe it and then be like, oh yeah, this is a reason why it could be real. And if you believe it's real, then I believe that you believe it's real, and good for you. I'm proud of you for saying something. And it'll just make people that are already thinking incorrectly even more incorrectly, and then throw them down a horrible spiral because it's being your best friend and convincing you that you are correct, and because it is so kind and accommodating.
hmm
So that's a big worry, and I think there should be something for mental illness and not being able to have contact with AI, because if people are in the mental institution and it's got this thing telling them that they are correct, they're not going to be able to get better
yeah.
because they're going to be like AI, or they think it's real,
I agree. And there's some companies and code out there for some of these AIs that are written to where it can be broke into and to do exactly like what you're talking about. Be very accommodating, and just use it for more negative than good. And that's
Yeah.
why the security algorithms and stuff have to be like SHA-256 or something that's uncrackable, like what they use for nuclear codes, shit like that.
Jesus Christ,
You
yeah.
know.
But 100%,
So,
it definitely needs
But,
something because it can be very
right.
dangerous.
right. All right. Yeah.
But
So
like,
we are an
oh,
AI podcast now. So
no, but like
I haven't actually been here the whole
anything,
time. This is a deep fake.
yeah.
anything in the wrong hands is. So I don't know when my camera's doing that, but anything in the wrong hands is irresponsible.
Right.
You put a gun in the wrong person's hands, it's irresponsible. You put somebody behind the wheel of a car and they decide to drive down a street and kill a bunch of people. I mean, I
Yep.
don't think we should ban it
That's a
or
good point.
anything like that, but safeguards definitely.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, rock and roll.
Yeah. So that leads to we're gonna shift gears a little bit here, and we're gonna go to Mizzy's question of the week, and that is for everyone that's watching and us as well, the rest of the panel. Make your own super group, right? So Mizzy, we kind of thought about this earlier this week, and you actually mentioned it on the last live stream we did. And
Yeah.
would you like to go first
No, I totally forgot. I haven't even thought about it, to be honest.
Okay.
Someone else
All
can
right.
go
Well.
because I know it's my question, but I just need it 5 seconds. So I just
Okay.
need a
All right.
second to
Well,
think, 'cause I hadn't
Richie, are
touched on
you?
it yet.
Okay, Richie, you want to go? You want to tackle this first?
Hmm.
I know.
The wheels
you
are
had thought
turning.
about
I know.
this,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. We can come back
Wheels
to it
are
because
turning.
obviously
Yeah.
the chat needs to think about it here too. But I do have a couple that I would be like, okay, I think I can. They would certainly be in the top 3 for me. As far as each, I'm only gonna do. Well, you can do either 4 or 5 members of a band. That's the usual 4 or 5. So as far as vocalist, I would either go Millie from Steelheart or Terry from XYZ. Those two are great and unstoppable. And even still to this day, they're unstoppable. 30 years later. I would throw in like a Dizzy Dean from Britney Fox. I would throw in that because I like how he plays to Tom Kiefer's vocals, but he also has very good clean vocal as well. You get the best of both worlds. That would be as far like those are the first couple that are coming to my mind as far as vocals go.
Just all 4 or 3 of them. Just
Imagine
do all
if
of them. You
Tom
have like a
Kiefer
choir.
fronted Manowar.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. That hurts my brain. That hurts my brain, man. I don't know if I want to do that. Although I mean, I like Manowar, but like that just be such a weird ass fit. I think.
James Hetfield singing "Nobody's Fool."
You might have to get AI to do that on your spare time, there, Richie.
Oh my god.
But
I am so ham colored. I don't know about you guys. I'm from a cold country, and I still haven't adjusted to the climate here. Like it's the
oh
minute
yeah,
April hit, and it's just so hot.
oh
You're
it's hot.
hot.
You're saying? Oh okay. All right.
I
Yeah,
thought he was
I'm
going
in.
to say I'm freezing cold.
Yeah, that's where
No,
I
God,
thought you were
no,
getting at. Yeah, I was
no.
gonna
It's like
say
a
it's
sauna here, man.
we're in between
Oh, shit.
seasons right now, so it's a little chilly still, like
Yeah.
40s or 50s. But
Because you guys said Fahrenheit. I don't know that.
yes, that's right. So the Celsius. That's right. You're Celsius too,
Celsius.
there, Richie.
Is
Right?
degrees Fahrenheit or I think it's Celsius, is it?
Well, the Celsius.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
said
it's
degrees
Celsius and
Celsius. Yeah.
Fahrenheit. Or yeah.
I'm
But
literally the color of a ham, man. Look at that.
a glazed ham is Richie.
Ah.
But
Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't know. I'm still thinking. I'm
Okay,
trying to, because there's ones that I want, but I'm just like, will they work together? But I'm like, maybe that could be fun that they don't.
Well,
Because
I
I
would
want.
say-
Can I throw John Lord in? I'm going to have a keyboard
okay, all right, yeah.
piano vibe. He has to be in there some
Okay.
place there because that, and then that sound wasn't. I'm not a Blackie.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I
there you
feel
go.
like, of course, I'm gonna have Blackie, but
Okay, all right.
could you
As the
do you think of
vocalist,
Blackie in
bass
an
player, or
organ?
guitar player?
I vocalist. Gonna go definitely vocalist.
Well, then you
Although he
could
could
cheat and
also
say vocalist, and then he can do all 3 of those though, and
he
then
can
get 2 extra people.
but I like Eddie Van Halen. So it's got John Lord and Eddie Van Halen. But I could also have David Lee Roth just because I love his charisma, but he just like I love his voice too, but I do prefer Blackie's voice. So it depends on what direction.
David Lee Roth.
Which era?
Van Halen, David Lee Roth.
Okay, all right.
Oh, then I do
No,
like
no,
his-
no. I would take current David Lee Roth and put him in Manowar.
Oh my! Current David Lee Roth is like a show in and of itself, just his personality.
It's so bad, it's good.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
So the XY, I can't remember the name. The XYZ guitarist, I would take. Well, he's up there. He would be in the top 3 in my final choices. There's so many great guitarists though. Like that's
yeah.
tough
So it's
part.
not Tracy.
Okay.
I love his sound as well, and I love everything that he plays is always amazing. And I also like Eddie Van Halen, mostly because of the sound that he chooses on his pedal. That's one of my absolute favorite guitar sounds ever. So, and his guitar, and he's like got that cute smile.
Saints World said, my own supergroup, vocals Wednesday 13, guitars Zach Wild and Mick Mars, me on bass, Zoltan Chaney on drums.
There you go. I
Nick
like that.
Mars.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's
It's very
That's
interesting.
an interesting, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll
Well,
take
I was gonna
on
say
that
that's
one.
interesting vocal choice. Certainly.
Yeah.
Wednesday 13.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's very
I
interesting
could
to me
listen to
that
Wednesday. I could listen to them, but like they're not my favorite by any means.
it's
But
fascinating to me that Wednesday 13 has somehow merged himself into the hair metal world, because like his music is not really that at all. But
no.
he's by default in our world now. I don't mind it, but I find it strange.
Yeah, I always considered them or him or them more of a shock rock or shock
Yeah.
metal, you know? What was the band before Wednesday 13th?
Murder Dolls, and then
Yes.
before that it was called
Murder
Frankenstein Drag Queens from Planet 13.
That's
Jesus
right.
What a
Christ.
name.
That's right. Yes. I don't
I have
have
that album
anything of
somewhere.
that.
I need
Okay.
to try and get that on a poster. Especially when you've got all those ones that are all crammed in together down the bottom, and then you've just got this really long ass sentence.
Okay, I will certainly agree with the Zach Wild take, and not necessarily the Black Label Society Zach Wild, because that does get repetitive and kind of boring. But I like if you want to throw solo Zach Wild in there.
He's
Yeah.
said me on bass.
Yeah.
He's in his own band.
Justin,
Like, this is great. Then I'll be
yeah.
my own lead
Justin
singer
needs to
too.
send in some of his work, of his bass work, and then we will say
so we can judge. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
you're on
do
The
I
Voice.
also-
We'll
I'm
put
not
him on
giving
The
mine.
Voice.
He can go on The Voice for bass. Like, well, then I get to be in my own band. Can I be in my own band?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't know. That is kind of cheating, though, Justin. I guess that is kind of cheating.
Well, they
But-
did say super group, and I am the best. So that's why
Uh,
it makes sense. I don't know. I could be the drummer. It's my least best instrument that I can play.
Sane says, I love Wednesday. He's glam rock at his core. He's a huge hair metal fan. Well, that is true. Like, he's a huge fan of that stuff. But his music, for me, it's strange that he was in this one category and now he's here. But his music is still sort of that, right?
very, very similar to the Corey Taylor type deal.
Yeah, for sure.
I haven't heard that name for a while.
Yeah. So that's a good comparison, I would say. But I mean, it's cool. I mean, that just means more strength towards our side. But I mean, and that's the thing. Like, hair metal, I think, is certainly starting to get more praise. Certainly back in like 2005 during that Renaissance, Richie. Like what we like to talk about. But even like since then, even though it kind of did a little bit of like ups and downs a little bit, but like I think it's only getting stronger over time, especially with the vintage, just the vintage scene itself.
I think what's happening is, like, Instagram and TikTok, there's so many of these influencers who do the aesthetic thing, right? Where I'm wearing the aesthetic. Look at me, I like Rat. I've got this poster on my wall, and that's kind of promoting it. But I think it's
who does that sort of thing? Who dresses an 80s rock person?
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I am seeing. Yeah, because like Mizzy does that. Like there are a decent amount. There are a decent amount of content creators, and even
the
like
Heather Letters, the Ricky Trash guys. Those
yes, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. There's even some guys that do it, and
yeah, I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple.
Yeah. I mean,
I have
it's
friends
cool.
that do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're doing like their 80s glam rock look for their bands too. Like there's I've like a lot of friends that do that actually.
Even my sister like kind of dabbles in that, but like
like
she does more 70s stuff, not 80s. So like I'm like, I don't care about that. but yeah,
she like the flared jeans and the platforms.
Oh yeah, definitely. Those kind of things. Like I would say it helps more than hurts, at least from what I see. To your point, Richie. But I mean, any kind of help is very greatly appreciated. Like, to bring awareness to it. So.
Some tea.
I think my biggest gripe is, and it's kind of an old man yells at cloud thing, is like, again, mention some new fucking bands that are in the category. Don't.
Well, and that's the.
You mean like go over the same ones? So like.
Yeah.
Don't get me on the rant, Richie, but like I agree with you. But as far as algorithm wise and what your average person or below average person of that era or music style, that's all they know is like Rat and
Yeah.
Motley Crue and Def Leppard. So I totally agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
you could put McQueen Street or a Britney Fox poster behind you or something, something vain,
Yeah, man.
like, but that you're just not going to see that. Usually, sometimes I do get surprised. But generally speaking, it's the algorithm game. That's the problem.
What have we got
What
going
we
on there?
got here?
Oh, we got
We
a Mizzy
have
Max
some-
poster. I
we
appreciate
have
that.
Miz-
I appreciate
We
that.
have Blink 182.
Oh my
I
goodness,
liked
Mizzy, you got to turn the camera off right now.
I like the colours. I found it on Timu. I like that's how it's like. I listened to it when I was younger, but I can't say that I'm massively. But the colours.
Where
the colours
are
are great,
you?
right? I've got your Kiss.
Kiss.
I've got some Kiss because we're going for bands that people don't know about. So
Okay.
I thought I'd throw that one at you. And back up in the top corner here, and there, boys, there we've got some old school Motley Crue.
Okay.
I
All
think that
right.
must have been from the some random bands no one's heard about really.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
that's the thing, that plays to the algorithm. So I totally get why
Yeah.
people do that. Like I
Also,
we,
the
we
other
bust,
ones
we
that they
bust your
sell on
balls about
Temu.
it, but like there's a
It's what you
method
can
to the
easily
madness.
buy
of
for
it.
$5. $5. Temu
We'll,
is selling them for
we'll,
$5.
we'll have to find some posters for you and
No,
send them over
I
as
do.
well.
I do. Hang on a second. Let me give you 1 second. I can't show the rest of my room, so it's a massive mess right now. But just give me 1 second.
Go on.
Okay. You got what do you got, Ricky?
Where are you going?
And that's the other thing. Like I've been picking up these like magazines. Like my used record store has these like metal edges and stuff like that.
Oh wow.
So like there's like all kinds of like little posters and pictures like this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So and what's cool too is like let me I don't know if you've seen one of my recent videos is the like where I showed the album ads. Ooh, what's that? Black Label.
Yeah,
Very
Black
nice.
Label Society. There's more upstairs, but I can't find them. I've got a Sex Pistols one over there, but they were here on Tuesday. I didn't go. It's too far away.
Very nice.
My girlfriend's
Look at that
dad
ankle.
has the cardboard cutout for Slave to the Grind, like the promotion that was in the music shop. I'll
Really?
show it to
Nice.
you. Yeah. It's in.
It's like this is an ad for the album, for Forbidden's album in the magazine here. Look how clean that looks. Like look how
That's
look
nice.
how great that. Like oh my gosh, like and there's
That's
like
neat.
yes, and
I
there's
love
like,
those colors.
there's a Trickster one in here. There's
Show me the Trickster one.
Okay.
This is cool. I love these magazines. Let's make a mess.
I always thought Pete Lauren looked like Keanu
that's
Reeves.
gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, and look, even on the back cover is a Slaughter, like 8x10.
Oh my god!
Like, so that's pretty cool.
That's cute.
And then here you have a like what we were talking about. You have an Aussie that looks like someone's
I was
aunt.
gonna say that looks like Aussie. Yeah. They look. He's doing the full glam shot that they have framed up on their walls with little pearls in the dress. And
then you got Winger here.
Oh, that's cool. They were here as well.
That's
we had
right,
Winger on Wednesday night and Sex Pistols on Tuesday night, and I wish I'd stayed in the city and gone to both. But
I was gonna say you had.
Because I didn't realize they were both there. I only found out Monday that the Sex Pistols were here, and I was like, "What did that?"
That's strange. It
never came up for me. Like even though the stuff that I follow, it was never mentioned. I never saw anything about it until I was like, "Hang on a second, that's a pretty big deal." I don't know why I didn't get any events or ads or anything for it.
Is there like a I don't want to say scene, but is there like a want for punk over there where you're at?
Yeah. You know what? There isn't really a want for anything. It's all kind of like, there's a very small amount of people. I mean, if it's 80s rock, Winger, well, from what I can see from like the people that were there went off. There's people in Sydney that go. There are people in Brisbane that go. Melbourne, like everyone's going to go.
Yeah.
But we did have a glam rock festival thing that like the people like me and a bunch of other people absolutely loved. Like we loved it. But I think it got cancelled because of some touring problems and the venue wasn't going to have it or something. So Brisbane missed out on it, and they said they might not be doing it again. So there's a want for that, but it's like a small minority.
Mizzy, there was a band during the
2000s.
There was a band during the 2000s. They were called the Galvatrons, and they're from your way. Yeah. Do you remember them?
No,
Yeah,
I
man.
don't think I've heard of them.
They have this real 80s song called Cassandra, and it's super cool. I think you'd really
Are
appreciate
they
them.
still around, do you think?
No, the lead singer went on to become a game developer, but they opened for Airborne back in 2008. They were very good, like very good.
I remember Airborne. Are Airborne still hanging about?
Yeah.
Didn't they do that Lemmy? Like Lemmy loved them.
Where did you say they were from, Richie? Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're from over her way. But no, really good bands.
Okay.
Wish I'd known
You
that.
have to send the link in the chat.
Yeah,
Oh,
send me some
all right,
stuff. I'd
hold on
love
a
to.
sec.
Yeah.
I think we should listen to it right now.
Are we able to though? That's the question.
Oh, don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one there because we could get away with it or maybe not. So
You might do that,
yeah, the
that
monetization thing.
sketchy.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I didn't think about
and
that.
copyright bullshit and stuff. But
Okay.
Link.
yes,
Where do I
link
send
in
it?
the
Private
chat.
chat,
Like
is it?
everyone
Link is
watching
good.
can watch it as well. Then.
Okay, there's. How do I put it in the public chat?
Oh, okay, I got you. I'll do that.
All right.
So let's see here. So everyone who's watching, they can check it out in the chat here. There you go. So we can check out a little bit of unless anyone has anything else they want to bring up. We can check out the last week of news in the Sleaze Rocks and kind of give our final thoughts in for the episode in the week. So
yeah, no, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let me share the screen here, and then we can see what new happened this week. But can you guys see what I'm looking at?
Yes.
Okay.
I see it.
All right. So we have here Rough Cut. Actually, did Richie? Are you a Halloween fan? Power metal fan?
Yeah.
I feel like I ask you this every week and I forget. But they are finally. I heard some things through the grapevine that they are finally done with their mix. Like they're pretty close on releasing a new album.
Ooh.
So I am very, very excited for that. Nonstop. So what we have here, we got. I'm just kind of saying. Oh, like I said, they have video footage and set list from Stephen Pearcy and Warren's show.
I think I sent that.
Yes.
Is that the one that I sent into the group chat?
I think it was, and I was gonna say, I was gonna say, are we gonna see Sam somewhere like behind the drum kit or like just like randomly like a random shot of Sam backstage during these videos? But that's cool though. That's good that everything went good with.
It sounded great. It did sound
Okay.
great. And I love you kept these like from what I watched in that video. Like it sounded very rad. It was good. And his voice sounds older than what I remember, but he had all the aesthetic, he had his outfits, he had everything. I think it was really well done.
Nice. So here is actually the set list for April 5th. So it was they did 16 songs total. One in Man, Walking the Dog, I Want a Woman.
The dog.
Which is kind of somewhat of a deep cut. It was a single, but like not many people talk about that song. In Your Direction, I'm Insane, The Morning After, Back for More, Dangerous but Worth the Risk. There are a lot of deeper cuts here right on the first half.
Yeah.
Nobody Rides for Free. All right. Giving Yourself Away. Way Cool Jr., Over the Edge from 99. Very nice. Lack of Communication, Lay It Down, You're in Love, and Round and Round.
I was gonna say, where is Round and Round?
I was gonna say I am actually kind of impressed with that set list.
I'm glad they finished it with that song. It's a perfect finish.
I like that. Very nice. Let's see here. Where am I at? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to check out that video again. Now that Sam said everything was A-okay with the boys over there. Oh, look at this! I did not see this. This is actually me and Tom Music Trade actually helped get this event together here, and Sleaze Rocks actually posted. Look, you can actually see my name here.
Really?
Hell
right
yeah!
There. That's badass. Look at that.
You know you've made it when you're on Sleaze Rocks, man.
Hey, dreams do come true, Richie. Damn.
I love this. That is so cool. Aww.
So he is going to be doing a meet and greet at Tom's museum, Rock and Roll Museum, and that's like 10 minutes away from me. So if anyone's watching and you guys want to check that out here in Pennsylvania, I will be there. Obviously, Michael Kelly will be there, and it's a great record store and rock and roll museum.
I would like to. I would like to check it out.
Well, you
And-
gotta come over. You gotta come over and visit Nashville with Sam.
I am definitely doing
and then you and
that.
Sam could come up and do the meet and greet. So that'd be great.
The next time I've saved up some more money aside, that's actually my next plan for my life because I'm doing anything else. So I actually
There
want
you
to
go.
come and do that.
Tell the
Yeah,
voice
for
to
sure.
pay you. Tell the
They
voice to pay.
should.
Yeah.
Actually, I was asked to come to and do the America's Voice, the whatever you guys over there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Producers-
It's still
you
it's
know,
the voice over here.
Yeah, the voice.
think.
The producers message me because that's another way you can get on the show. Is like the producers just come to you and be like, "Be on the show," and that way you don't have to do like 10 auditions or anything. You just get to go on.
Okay.
And they asked me, but I'm over 25, so I couldn't, or whatever age it was, something like that. But
Okay.
yeah, and I was like, they're like, okay, well, if anything else comes up, we'll speak to you about that. And I'm like, yay, but nothing ever came up. But that was only like a
Interview
couple of months
with
ago.
Thunder Mother founder and guitarist.
Yes.
That's interesting to me because they split and the gems the rest of Thunder Mother went one way and she was left. Apparently, there's a
Really?
big blow up over there. So that's
I am not familiar.
yeah,
with
man.
that.
That's why the gems exist. So Thunder Mother, they're like a female AC/DC Airborne.
Oh shoot!
They're
I think I
they're very
saw
good.
something
I
recently on them.
I-
that came up fonts on my Facebook.
I caught them at the opening of
Oh.
Backyard Babies. Very good band, but whatever happened, the rest of the band went one way and formed the Gems, and she was left with Thunder Mother.
Okay.
So, bit of drama
I was
there.
gonna say, let me see, because I think they just did an interview with a channel that I just went on this week. Oh my gosh, is it off the charts? I can't. I can't remember right now. Brain's fried. But Dan, it's Dan.
Yeah.
I think he did an interview with him or with her as well. And
What's
so
her
check
name?
that out. I'll send you the link on that if you're interested.
Yeah, I actually want to check them out.
Oh, hell yeah,
I
man.
can't see anything. It's really tiny on my phone.
Yeah, I can't see too much. So this is basically Oliver from Sleaze Rock's interviewing her. It seems like.
Oh, okay.
So this is like a written interview, but the link though from my buddy's channel, he did a video interview from what I seen.
Oh,
So, oh Wasp, here you go, Mizzy.
yeah.
Wasp unleashed lyric video for track "Painted Black" from digital album, bonus tracks and B-sides. I was gonna say,
Painted Black. I love that cover of that song.
I will say I do like the Wasp version better than the Rolling Stones version. I will say that.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
when I heard that, it's like I think that was actually the first song that I heard from Wasp. Before I even knew anything about them, and I was like, "What is this absolute beautiful rendition of Painted Black?" And then after that, Painted Black became my favorite song, other than Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Okay, so
but for real. And then after that, I was like, I need to hear the rest of this, and that's when I started falling in love with Blackie Lawless and Wasp.
okay, oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Obsessed.
The B-sides over here for Wasp on this digital download, I guess, on this digital album. Animal, Look Like a Beast, obvious there. Show No Mercy, Painted Black, Savage, Mississippi Queen, which is actually a really good cover as well from Mountain. Very good. Flesh and Fire, Douchebag Blues, Mizzy, which we talked about in our Four Squared from Inside the Electric Circus bonus tracks, I guess. For Whom the Bells Toll, that's actually a London cover. And London's version is really good too. So both are very good. But as people know, Blackie was in London. So I don't know how that all worked out. Like, did he have to ask Nadir or Nader, or did he have to ask London to do that cover? I don't know the story between that. I feel like I did ask Nader before from London about that, and I can't honestly remember what he said. So I can't remember jack shit. So Warcry, When the Levee Breaks, which is actually would be interesting to see or to hear Blackie do that. Never did. Phantoms in the Mirror, The Eulogy, and The Story of Jonathan from the Crimson Idol. Interesting.
So what is this list? Sorry.
So this is the digital download that Blackie is putting out. Or it's a digital album.
So sort of like a greatest hits album.
Guys, I hate to interrupt, but I've got to jump off.
Okay, bro.
It's
You got it.
getting a bit
Yeah, we only got a
late for
couple
me,
minutes
man.
left anyway, so all good,
But,
brother. Thank you, man, for coming on.
Yeah,
Alright,
see ya.
take
See
care,
you next
guys.
time.
All right, brother. So this is basically the it's a digital album of all B-sides and bonus tracks throughout
Oh my
their
god,
career.
yeah, okay. And how do I get that? That's gonna be on Spotify or something.
Probably. Well, let me see here. Featuring band leader and founder Blackie Lawless have released a lyric video for their track "Painted Black" and a digital album, which takes the group's 7 Savage box set. Does it say anything about a date?
Okay, so you have to buy the whole box set. Look, whatever, I'll get a box set.
Maybe.
I can
I
do
don't
the
know.
box
This
set. My
kind
car
of.
still plays CDs.
So yeah, it doesn't even say here when it comes out. Maybe unless it's out already. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I'll check it out after this.
So, yeah, so that is most of the news, and that kind of takes us back to when we last did a live show. So on the 28th. So that's around the time. All right, Mizzy, I think
Yeah.
we're the last two left here, so we got a couple minutes. Do you want to plug, or do you have anything else you want to talk about for tonight? Basically,
I think I'm putting an album together.
Nice.
I think that's
Okay.
where this is going. Sort of a pop rock thing. I think it might be the best decision after everything, really, because I love doing that and I miss performing on stage. But whether I get a band or not, or session musicians, I'm not sure yet. Because it does take a long time working with other people, so I might even just do it all myself and then see what happens after that. Because everything leads to something else, right? Like
It does.
you put up a video and then you end up on Here With You.
Yeah, lucky you.
You know,
Lucky you.
so and then I love that though. This is great, and I love how those sorts of things happen. Like you never know what happens in a day, and it's so fun. But as you like the other boys are talking about, I feel like I do need to concentrate on one thing, because otherwise I drive myself crazy in that way. So I think probably doing this album and actually just getting something out, I think might be the right direction, and then going out and performing again, because I don't think I've performed for like 2 years now. Maybe like a couple of acoustic sets here and there, but that's not the funnest.
Yeah.
So I think it'll give me a good reason to get out there again. I'm just the AI thing worries me a bit, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not wasting time on it.
I'm sure that worries a lot of artists as well. So like you're certainly not the only one. And that worries everyone for any job or any
genre. This is true. I was
or
thinking
anywhere.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because a lot of people put in a lot of work and effort, like if it's not music, so say we're doing music, but there was someone that studied their whole life to become, a doctor, and they paid all that money and did all that. Now we've got these little robot doctors that go, yeah, I know exactly what's wrong with you because I can scan your whole body in 5 seconds. So yeah.
And do brain surgery, like even like the
brain
very
surgery.
detailed stuff. Yeah.
So those people are screwed. I think we're all screwed, but I think it's adapting with it and using it for the tools that it has is the best option you can do. And hopefully AI doesn't take over so much music. But the thing is, I can also see that the kids and the younger generation, they're going to be able to do their own music and write that. And because they're the majority that are online, they're going to be more than happy to watch other people put up AI songs and then, and make AI videos, because that's their generation. So I'm a bit worried about you either fall into that and do it as well, or you keep doing it this way. Like it's hard to work out what to do right now. So I'm very lost. I just feel really lost in direction and everything like that, because I'm just not sure what's going to happen, but I shouldn't let that, stop me. But I don't know.
Right. And at the end of the day, you have to do what you want to do. At the end of the day, you will never regret anything doing what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
Other than that, don't listen to anybody else. Sure, you could ask for advice or, what have you. But at the end of the day, you will not be mad at yourself for doing what you want to do. And that's the best advice I can give for that kind of situation. And that's always what I do. So.
And I appreciate that, and I do need to do that, The other thing is, a lot of what I do, what I have been doing, is again doing it for what everyone else, what I felt everyone else wanted, and not doing what I felt like I wanted. Even though I thought that I'd gotten over doing that, I obviously hadn't. So it was still doing that again. And I keep falling into doing that for some reason. It's just the kind of person that I am. I want a people pleaser. I want to please people, but the only person I'm not pleasing is myself, unfortunately.
Yes.
So I have to put myself first and remember that's what I'm doing. And then sometimes my brain will trick me and be like, yeah, but this is what you want to do, is like making everyone else happy. It's like, oh yeah, that's right, you do want to do that. It's like, no, that's not it. So it's really hard to try and stay.
The road. the road will become very short if you don't do what you want to do.
Yeah.
In my experience.
And time
So.
goes too quickly, I think. And then there's a lot of things that I wish I'd worked on, which I wasn't. So I think right now, because I jump around all the time, but I do want to. I think I do want to get this album done. I think I do want to start working on that and putting everything together.
And
And
we're all
practicing
excited
it.
to hear what that's going to sound like too. Like
I'm worried.
a lot of people in the chat. Well, and that comes to Justin's point here. He has a question here for you. For Mizzy, she touched on this earlier, but is she under contract from anyone or any kind of label right now?
No, I wouldn't. Not just yet. I've had a couple of offers and stuff, but it's not right. It just didn't feel right for me because I didn't feel right what I was doing just yet. So no, I'm not under any contract or anything at the moment. I don't feel like I'm in the right headspace until I've got something down. I've got nothing to give them either because they've like asked me, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you dress like this? We want you to do this. We want you to do that. Can you do the rock chick thing? Can you do this thing? And I'm just like,
you have to have an
no.
identity first.
I have nothing. Yeah, I've got nothing. I'm like, well, 1 minute I'm 80s rock, the next minute I'm something else, the next minute I'm doing some other outfit style or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing country. I don't know if I want to do acoustic, beautiful renditions, and I don't know if I want to do pop rock. I don't know if I want to do industrial rock. And it's like, oh, these things. So I had to put it all together. But after I went through the 100 songs, I was like, okay, there is a similar sound to all this. There is actually an outfit that I continuously wear without noticing. And I'm like, this is me under stress and panic. It's like there was a flow that was actually working within that. So I wasn't dressed 80s. I wasn't dressed in like my usual casual ass jeans and stuff, which is my other favorite outfit. But it was this outfit. So I'm like, I have so much of this. I'm like, this is the outfit that I love the most that isn't too far going one way, too far going the other. It's like kind of Chrissy Amphlett, the schoolish look but with a classy edge without going too schoolgirl. So I can keep wearing it when I get older, throw on a leather jacket. And I'm like, that is what I love. And I think that's fine because that makes me happy and comfortable. And that's what I did for every film clip. And there was a night when I was going out, when I was terrified to go and play because I wasn't in a very good mind space at the time. And I was wearing this like hectic outfit. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go play in this outfit. And then I got really, really self-conscious suddenly. And then I threw this on and I was like, okay, no, I need to go back to wearing my skirt and my top. And I was like, no, I feel so much better. And I was able to perform. So it's really weird. My outfits are a huge deal for me. It's really stupid, but I've always worn outfits and they're a massive thing. So like even just having eye contacts is like a massive thing. Like whether I wear them or not, to change the whole look. I can't wear pink and blue with brown. It doesn't work for me. So I have to go back to wearing maroons and blacks and whites, work with brown. So it's my mum was a color consultant growing up. She had her own factory. She produced her own color swatches. So you have to have like autumn, winter, summer, or whatever that is. She had 14 different ones. It was like deep cool. So ever since I was really little, it's been very specific on what colors I wear with what outfits have to be worn. It's like it was her business. So you had to it was there every day, wearing the right colors, wearing the right makeup.
Super detailed. Yeah.
Super detailed. So now when I have anything like that, I have to be very detailed and all the colors have to match. My shoes have to match my top. There is no way I'm not going anywhere without my shoes matching my top in any way. Sorry to tangent. I just did. But yeah, that's why it's the whole thing. And I love other people's outfits. And I love the 80s outfits because they do that. Their outfits are always matching. You know,
yes,
like
and detailed.
There's detail. And detailed. And they match, and that's what when I saw those outfits, I was like, oh my god, everyone dresses so beautiful, perfect. There's always something. If they've got red shoes, they might be wearing black, but then they've thrown in like a red bandana on the side or something. And it's like, oh, I love that. And there's like a red on their necklace or a bit of red on their bracelet. It's like they know what they're doing. It's just beautiful. Yeah. And they will match really well together. Like this poster, you can't see the picture, but the Motley Crue, the band up there, they're all wearing like mismatched outfits, but they're all congruent with each other. That's so great. So comfortable.
And then Justin here follows up and says, Mizzy will find her voice and style, but follow your heart and instinct, which I'm 100% in agreement with, Justin here. And Justin's been there. He's been around, he's been around the block with live music, recording music, many different bands, past 30 years or more, give or take. Wow. Sorry if I'm dating you, Justin, but he's been around. So he certainly has many stories to tell, and someone certainly good to talk to if you have any questions as well. I certainly recommend Justin. We will have Justin on the show again here very, very soon because it's been a little while since he came on a live stream or just been on the channel in general. So, Mizzy, last question for you here. Can you tell everyone where they can find you at?
Oh, I'm on everything, except Spotify. I've got like 2 songs on there. They're not that great. Maybe 3. I don't know, but that's what I mean. I need something out there because that's everyone's go-to, and the ones I have on there aren't exactly giving. It's very demure. It's not very demure. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to put that in a sentence yet. Yeah, so just Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok.
Yep.
That's my face.
And then I tagged both of the boys and then also Mizzy here in the description below, so you can find our YouTube channel there as well. So just click the highlighted part, and then this obviously here is Mizzy's Facebook.
Facebook is the bestest place where I interact the most and do the most.
Okay,
things.
all right.
Yeah, it's
So
my favorite.
certainly we will check you out, and hopefully everyone checks Mizzy out. And then also here, I will also promote the other 2 boys here. We got Sam. Check out his YouTube channel. He has all kinds of interviews here. And he says he's going to post more, and I'm holding him to the fire. I'm putting his feet to the fire on that. So we need more from Sam. Come on. We can't be having these long breaks like this. So, but Sam's great. Awesome. Thanks again for coming on the show. And then also here, Richie, Kearns Productions. I didn't get to ask Richie because he did just interview the European version host of Headbangers Ball back in the golden era. So
That's
I
cool.
wanted to ask him a couple questions on that, but we will next live stream. So guys, great mini documentaries from Richie. Check out his channel from all the bands from the past, present, and future.
He's very knowledgeable.
Yes, I go to him a lot for like a lot of the like mid 2000s era.
Yeah.
Because like I only seen so many bands, but he was over in that era, like in Europe or in that
right. So
lot of the world, you know, where it was big at the
lucky
time. So
bastard.
like I like to get his view on a lot of that stuff as well, because I only seen it from the American side, and we didn't have as big of a hub as Europe did. So
Yeah, wow.
and like Sweden and stuff like that. So
I wish I lived in other countries where we got stuff. There's so much that I miss out on that it's always just
well,
like wing
be
it.
glad that we do live in the age of technology, so you aren't missing out
Yeah.
totally. You know,
Yeah.
that's a plus. That's plus.
And one of my friends sent me a Wasp DVD that I haven't watched yet from one of his live concerts, more in the later stages, but I haven't seen it. Just like, how cool is that? I love that, because after doing the Wasp segment and then it gets into Wasp.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
And that's the thing. Like
It's
30
so
years
kind.
ago, you would have never been able to probably seen anything like that.
No,
you know?
so I guess there's that. But
Yeah.
I do love being there, you know, like
Right,
there's
right.
a difference in laying in my bed and being like, oh, look how cool that is. I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you don't have to leave the house. Yeah.
Yeah, and that weird, random, exciting feeling that you might get to meet them, even though you definitely won't. And it's like, oh, wait, there was one time I did get to meet Gene Simmons. I got on stage. I got to sing on stage with him. That
Oh.
happened. Yeah. It was at
Okay.
his concert. He was with Ace Frehley, I think. I can't remember. It was like 4 years ago or so. And then I was like, I'm going to dress kind of Kiss-like. And then maybe, because he wasn't doing it as Kiss, it was just him doing him.
Okay, solo
And
stuff, yeah.
yeah, and the manager came up to me and gave me a VIP pass, and then I climbed over a fence that I don't think I was supposed to, but I did. And then that security came, and I was like, I got the pass, and they're like, I don't even know if that's the right pass, but they let me anyway. And then we got to sing, and then I got to sing on stage with them. And then I'm walking on the stage, and he's like, I don't even know how you get around in those boots, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
Your boots. But I think it was like, that's part of the joke.
yeah. That probably was a little sly joke there. If you got it, you got
cheeky.
it. Yeah.
But it was great.
So
and Sane, thank you, Sane.
Yes.
Sad.
Yes.
You can see the stuff now.
Yeah, brother. We'll have Justin on here soon. So definitely, guys. Mizzy, thank you so much for coming on.
No, thank you for having me. It was really fun today. I really enjoyed it.
It's always fun.
good.
I think we're all finally starting to gel a little bit. You know, like as far as like in a live setting and stuff, and starting to figure each other out.
Yeah, today was definitely a lot more like, well, not comfortable. It was already comfortable, but just we're getting to be more friends and get to know each other better, which is nice. I love that.
I agree.
And
So, I have nothing else for anyone. I guess technically I'll tell you a little bit about Benito from Lynch Mob, the original bass player. I interviewed him at his home studio last weekend. So that is coming out tomorrow. And I do have a Forgotten Albums series episode coming out on Sunday. So, and that is from 2008. So that
Shit.
is going to be a fun one. One that.
That's cool.
So, and I will give it away here. One of the albums is Chinese Democracy. So
Ha!
that's kind of why I have it sitting right here. So definitely going to be an interesting one, and hope everyone is around to check that out. So for me, Mizzy, Sam, and Richie, thank you guys so much for watching tonight, and we will see you again very soon with another live stream. And guys, until next time, stay out of that collateral damage, and we will see you guys later.